Sea otters, North America's smallest marine mammals, once thrived along Canada's Pacific coast. Their dense fur kept them warm, and their playful behavior made them a beloved sight. But in the 18th and 19th centuries, the fur trade drove them to extinction in Canadian waters. The loss of sea otters was more than just the disappearance of a charismatic animal, it destabilized the entire coastal ecosystem. Without otters, sea urchin populations exploded, and kelp forests began to vanish. The coast grew silent and the ocean's health declined in subtle but profound ways. The absence of otters was like removing a keystone from an arch. The structure began to crumble. The vibrant kelp forests thinned, and the communities that depended on them struggled. For generations, the Canadian coast existed in this altered state, a shadow of its former self. The memory of the sea otter faded into legend and old records. This loss was a stark reminder of how human actions can reshape entire ecosystems. The fur trade's legacy was an ocean out of balance, with consequences that rippled through time. The silence on the water was a symptom of a deeper problem, one that would take decades to understand. The story of the sea otter is a lesson in the power and fragility of nature, but it's also a story of hope and the possibility of restoration. Today, Canada's Pacific coast faces a new crisis: disappearing fish. Salmon, herring, and cod, once abundant, are now in steep decline. Overfishing, climate change, and pollution have pushed these vital species to the brink. The loss of fish ripples through the food web, affecting seabirds, seals, and whales. For Indigenous communities, the decline is not just economic, it's cultural and spiritual. The ocean, once a symbol of endless bounty, now seems fragile and depleted. Reducing fishing alone isn't enough. The entire ecosystem needs help to heal. Scientists and local communities are searching for solutions, realizing that restoring balance means looking beyond just the fish. The health of the ocean depends on every link in the chain, from plankton to predators. The disappearance of fish is a warning sign, a call to rethink our relationship with the sea. The challenge is complex, but the answer may lie in restoring the ecosystem's natural balance. This is where the story of the sea otter comes full circle. Could the return of a single species help heal the ocean? Canada is about to find out. In the late 1960s, Canada launched a bold experiment, reintroducing sea otters to British Columbia. Otters were carefully relocated from Alaska to the west coast of Vancouver Island. The hope was that these keystone predators could spark a broader ecological recovery. Scientists, Indigenous partners, and conservationists monitored the otters' progress, tracking their impact on the environment. The project wasn't just about saving otters, it was about restoring the entire ecosystem. Early on, no one knew if the otters would survive or thrive, but as their numbers slowly grew, so did the signs of change. The return of the otter marked a shift in conservation, from managing single species to healing whole ecosystems. It was a bet on nature's own power to recover. Sea otters are ecosystem engineers, and their favorite prey, sea urchins, hold the key. Without otters, urchins devour kelp forests, leaving behind barren seafloors. When otters return, they keep urchin populations in check, allowing kelp to flourish. Kelp forests provide shelter and nursery grounds for young fish, including rockfish and herring. These underwater forests boost biodiversity, stabilize the ecosystem, and even help fight climate change by absorbing carbon. The otter's appetite sets off a chain reaction, transforming desolate barrens into vibrant marine habitats. Healthy kelp forests mean healthier fish populations and more resilient oceans. The presence of otters is a catalyst for recovery, proving that small changes can have big impacts. This is why sea otters are called a keystone species. Their influence holds the ecosystem together. The results of otter reintroduction are now visible along Canada's coast. Where otters thrive, kelp forests have returned and marine life is rebounding. Scientists have documented higher biomass and greater diversity in these restored areas. Rockfish and other species are finding new nursery grounds among the kelp. Indigenous communities report seeing more seabirds, seals, and a renewed sense of vitality along the shore. The recovery isn't complete. Otters still face challenges and their range is limited. Conflicts with shellfish harvesters remain, requiring careful management. But the early successes are inspiring, showing that ecological restoration is possible. The return of the otter is a powerful symbol of hope for the ocean. It proves that bringing back a single species can trigger a cascade of positive change. Canada's coast is beginning to heal. Canada's otter story is part of a larger recovery along the Pacific coast. In Alaska, remnant otter populations have kept kelp forests healthy and ecosystems robust. California's southern sea otters, though fewer, have also sparked ecological renewal where they survive. These regions show that otter recovery leads to healthier fish populations and more resilient coasts. Studies in Alaska link kelp forests to stronger salmon runs, offering hope for Canada's iconic fish. The lessons are clear: restoring otters is a sound investment in nature. The patterns seen in British Columbia are echoed up and down the coast. The collective knowledge from Alaska, California, and Canada is building a powerful case for ecosystem-based conservation. Sometimes the best solution is to let nature's own engineers do their work. The otter's comeback is proof that healing is possible. The future of Canada's Pacific coast could be one of renewed abundance, anchored by thriving kelp forests and healthy otter populations. The sea otter is at the heart of this vision, a symbol of hope and restoration. If otters continue to expand, more of the coastline will be transformed. This is about more than just wildlife, it's about healing our relationship with nature. The project is a partnership with indigenous communities, blending traditional knowledge with modern science. Challenges remain. Balancing otters with fisheries will require innovation and collaboration, but these are opportunities to build a more sustainable future. The goal, a coast where people and wildlife thrive together. The otter's return is a model for ecological recovery everywhere. Even when ecosystems are pushed to the brink, it's not too late to turn things around. The quiet return of the sea otter is a revolution in conservation. It's a promise of a brighter, healthier Pacific for generations to come.